Entering the Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the live Pat Mayo Experience Week 1. We're going to update the weather, we're going to update the injuries, go through the rankings, DK, and take your questions. So, give the episode a like and start filling it up in the chat. If you're listening to the podcast version to this, you're not going to get the last 25 minutes or so. Sorry. That way I give you 2 hours and to be able to absorb the information and everything we got going on. If you hit the description, you can find links to everything, all the rankings, all the other shows, the DraftKings cheat sheet, where you can subscribe to the podcast and just bring it in your pocket and go along your way. In studio with me to join me, it is Garion Thorne.
Hello. Weather.
Weather. We are weathermen.
Well, I am not, but I will do my best at reading things I find on the internet.
You can do that?
I can't. I can read.
I don't believe
That's, you know how everyone...
It's the
everyone
glasses,
comes
isn't
in,
it?
It is, but you know how everyone comes into the season in the best shape of their lives? And everyone picks up new skills in the off-season? I learned how to read.
See, I didn't. I still can't grasp it whatsoever.
I can't recommend it highly enough.
So this isn't going to be a show where we just go through all your questions, go through. We're going to take periodic breaks, try to answer some start-sits. Please don't congest the chat to the best of your abilities with just absolute nonsense. Because I would like to get to people's questions. You're hurting people. And I may have to ban people as we go along.
Oh,
that's always fun.
That's immense power.
Do you know...
You're like Thanos.
Do you know who would really love to ban people, but he cannot be trusted with that type of power?
Everyone would be banned. Anyone who had less than 17,000 followers would be banned.
This is true. So the third member of the team to answer your questions and potentially ban you, his name is... Tim Undergust!
Tim Undergust.
That is not my name.
No, I heard it was your name. That's the whole thing about this.
I'm also don't understand why I was photoshopped onto a porg. I don't even get that one. Why does that even make sense?
Well, I feel like you were anti-Porg, correct?
I was, but then I became far less anti-porg when that was the only interesting part of the movie.
Oh, you didn't like it when they went to the casino planet? Everyone's
no,
favorite part of that movie?
No, I believe it or not, I didn't.
It was just like your favorite Bond film, Casino Royale.
That's actually a really good film.
Yeah, it is.
I see. I like that we're like 2 minutes into this. No football.
Already way
All
off
right,
track.
this is not what the people are here for. The people, as Tim would point out, are here to get some sort of update. So here's what we got this morning. Sony Michel, Will Fuller, and Devontae Parker all look like they're not playing. Sony Michel, we kind of expected. So it's
Parker
just,
too.
Ben Parker as well. The Will Fuller thing just kind of cropped up last night. Probably, Tim. He has weak hamstrings from playing at Notre Dame, doesn't he?
He was probably pacing during the Ball State game like I was and pulled a hamstring.
I wonder if that's what... Imagine if that's what it was.
I
That Will
think
Fuller treats these Notre Dame games just like insane Tim, pacing around his house smoking cigarettes.
Probably not.
Like Will Fuller can't play. Bad hamstrings and lungs.
I would just put it out there that he's always hurt.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
So with the Sony Michel thing, let's just quickly rank the running backs for the Patriots. I'm going Burkhead, White, Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, and I think that's the obvious way you would rank it on DraftKings too, full point PPR.
If you weren't playing full point PPR, would you play Hill over White or Hill over Burkhead?
No, I think
I would
Burkhead's...
play White over both of them.
Really?
White is the touchdown scorer on this team. We've seen it the last 2 years. Sorry.
I think Burkhead's just going to be so influential in that offense. I just think he, from a narrative sense, he fills every requirement that all great Patriot players have had. He's a student of the game.
No, he grinds. He has good hustle.
Had great hustle. No, but he has the ability to stay on the field at all times. And also, we've talked about this a lot, but one of the reasons that the Patriots likely aren't super desperate or as desperate as you might think a team that only has 4 receivers rostered on their 53 is about that particular situation is Burkhead is essentially also a receiver if you need him to be. So,
And that's going to be the whole thing, that if you're going to try to project them all out, the one that's, I mean, it's hard to say with the Patriots backfield,
Yes.
but if you're going to bet on one to play at least the most snaps, it's going to be Burkhead, because like you said, like James White and Burkhead can be on the field at the same time.
Yes.
Rex Burkhead can be on the field at the same time as Jeremy Hill. It's probably not going to happen with Hill and White.
I also don't think necessarily that Burkhead is someone who is definitively going to get pulled on a goal line situation.
He played a ton near the goal line last year.
Exactly. He can be a goal line back. So I think whereas going back to last season, we haven't heard as much about this season probably because we've been so invested in the wide receiver conversation and just Tom Brady in general with the Patriots. But remember Belichick last year saying they wanted to stop showing their hand when it came to which running back was on the field at all times. And I think Burkhead, of those three, is definitively the guy who you're like, oh, they could literally be doing anything with Burkhead on the field, whereas White, still not going to run between the tackles more than maybe once or twice a game, some sort of draw play possibly. And Jeremy Hill has never been the most adept at catching passes. Not saying he can't do it.
But they have two guys who can.
Yeah, they have two guys who will be much better after the catch. So there's no real reason to use him in that capacity.
With Devontae Parker, I think you just play Kenny Stills and play Danny Amendola in PPR at least.
Yeah.
Kenny Stills any
Albert
format.
Wilson has value.
I think Wilson's sneaky in a full point. I think it'd have to be a full point.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and I agree with you, where for Albert Wilson, it's great to hear coaching staff say we have to find ways to get this guy in the field. But if you're still saying that after Devontae Parker's been injured, which would essentially open up the spot, like I think Jakeem Grant is actually going to run most of the route tree that Devontae Parker would have run. So maybe even Grant's like a super contrarian play.
I don't know if you want to go that crazy.
Danny Amendola's healthy, so just play Danny Amendola.
That's the thing.
Until
he's
he
going to
can
be in the
cuss
slot.
himself.
He's going to be there. Until he's hurt, just play Danny Amendola. He'll get like 12 targets and 7 catches for 53 yards.
Here's the thing with Stills. I don't disagree that he's the best play. I don't disagree that he probably has the highest ceiling.
He's
of
the
any of
cheap.
these receivers.
He's cheap on
He's
drive.
4.7. He's cheap. But if you do go through Kenny Stills' career, and I'm not a big like QB wide receiver relationship guy. I think people put too much into that. Just pointing out, his biggest season last year, obviously Ryan Tannehill injured for the duration of that. His big spike in 2016 started week 13.
With
the exact moment Ryan Tannehill gets hurt and Matt Moore comes in. So there never really has been this amazing relationship between the two. I still think he sees like 8 to 9 targets, which is really all you need from somebody under 5K. But I think of the two, I'd probably rather play Amendola if given the price point. I think it's only $500, but still given the price point differential in a full point PPR.
So the big thing here, the Will Fuller thing, if he doesn't end up going against the Patriots, it's still the highest total of the week. That and the Saints and Bucks game. They're both over 50 in terms of projected points. What does that do? Like, does anyone else become playable, or does everything just move to DeAndre Hopkins? You have to figure the Patriots are going to try to take out DeAndre Hopkins at this point.
Yeah.
And whether that's successful or not. Like, Bruce Ellington looks like he's going to draw the start. And the guy that I actually don't have in my rankings right now that I was waiting to this moment to put in is Ryan Griffin.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say
he's going to be on the field. He's the only tight end in town.
Probably more the side I would lean. I would also say this adds value. This gives a little bit more ceiling to the floor that is Lamar Miller. I mean, he could be more involved in the passing game as well. He might see a couple more touches than he would have seen if Will Fuller were on the field.
Like, would you play Ryan Griffin at $2,700 on DraftKings?
I think there's a couple tight ends that I don't mind around 3K or under 3K. Like Nick Vannett against Denver, I think is a nice sneaky little play.
My language.
Even Antonio Gates might not be the worst idea in the world.
I don't know about that.
I mean, if we're just playing for a touchdown.
All right, we'll ask Tim. Tim, would you play Antonio Gates or Nick Vannett?
Antonio Gates.
Would you?
Do you know who Nick Vannett is?
No, I don't. I also think that the guy on the Texans who's going to get the value is Lamar Miller. I think I'm now far more inclined to play Miller than I would have been last night. I think he actually picks up the slack.
Here's the problem, though, and I'm curious to see how you guys are kind of circumnavigating this. There's such an easy ability in this game or this slate to do stars and scrubs.
Yeah.
And know that the scrubs are going to get huge volume shares, particularly at running back.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you investing in that middle tier knowing that it might go undervalued in terms of ownership? Like where Lamar Miller is sort of priced in that $5,000 to $6,000 range, even like Kenyon Drake. I don't think anyone is vying to use these guys because why would you? You can afford.
Well, I mean, the Drake thing's a different situation, though, because the Drake, we don't know how the Drake and the Gore are going to be splitting.
I still think the Gore thing
you
is
might
overhyped.
You might think that, like,
my personal philosophy
but, like, Collins is there, Miller is there, and we know that they're getting
yes, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, even those two guys in particular. I remember we talked like a month ago. And Alex Collins was one of your favorite plays for week 1. And now there's been so much. Okay, that's all I want to know. There's been so much value opened up below $5,000. Like, I kind of think James Conner's just a free space. I don't even care about ownership with him. I just think if you're telling me he's getting 20 to 21 touches, which is what we've seen from running backs who are filling in for Le'Veon Bell get since he's come into the league 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know how you don't play him at 4 or 5.
But the rain, Garion.
The rain, I know.
Is he made of sugar? Is he going to melt? We'll get to that in a second. I just want to talk about, like, Ryan Griffin I ranked at number 14 in my rankings, in my
think that's
weekly
fine,
tight
yeah,
end rankings.
sure.
And I don't think that he's a free space like you happen to think with James Conner, but he is good value
Yes.
down there. And, like, when we talk about
But
the...
he also has a little Dizzy's thing. They
Is
all
Sam-
do.
Samuel eligible?
Is what?
Is Samuels eligible at tight end for this?
No, that's only on Yahoo leagues.
Okay.
Because Yahoo loves giving everyone every position eligibility.
That's across the
possible.
board.
So
Gotta have a brand.
I do think that he's worth an ad in
Yeah,
Yahoo leagues
sure.
just for that tight end eligibility.
I'm starting him.
You're starting.
I dropped Charles Clay for him.
Wow. Okay.
Well, Charles.
whatever.
Why wouldn't you just play Ryan Griffin?
No, I'm going to play this guy. Samuel.
Nah.
Jesus.
Don't worry about it.
Samuel
Any reason why?
Bell's not there. We actually don't really know what the distribution will look like. And if I can get a guy who's going to get a potential for a goal line touch or two at the tight end position, I'm going to take my shot.
I mean, that's not as insane of the reasoning as I thought it would
fine.
be. Like, I like that he spells his name Samuels, not Samuel. But that's where I thought Tim was going to go with that. But like,
How many viable Steelers are there today? Because I think there's 2.
I want to finish off the Texans.
Fine,
You guys keep just
fine.
talking about the fucking Steelers. I want to finish the Texans.
These are the shows you like. You like the freeform shows.
I do, but like I'm trying to finish.
Okay, Texans.
Bruce
Texans.
Ellington.
Yes.
Can you play him? I think you can.
You can, but I wouldn't.
Or you can
He's not
play
good.
some guy named Vincent, who spells his name V-Y. And Kiki Kute might play.
Yes.
Sammy Coates is on that team. But it looks like Ellington is drawing the start for the Texans.
I just think the way that we've seen the target distribution of that offense work for the past half decade, where we're already talking about probably 30 to 35% of the volume share going to one guy.
That's fine.
Then you've got Miller. I'm not saying it's not fine. My level of trust with some of those guys. Would I stick Ellington in a GPP? Sure, but I'm probably looking at like 10 to 15% ownership and no higher than that. Like, I just think the risk assessment in that situation is he's too much of a variable. I see the upside, but there's also.
Would you say he's more or less safe than Jalen Samuels?
I would say more safe.
Okay.
But that's only my professional opinion. I'm no Dr. DraftKings.
Or Dr. Andercuss?
That is also true.
Okay, so let's talk about this Cleveland thing because people are losing their fucking minds over it. I'm looking at Windfinder right now. It's the same site that I use for golf. That tends to be pretty accurate over time because I'm seeing conflicting reports that like, hey, it was originally announced that it was going to be like 38 mile per hour winds, and now it's not going to be that. It looked like there was going to be 3 feet of rain, and it's not going to be that. What I'm looking at right now at kickoff time, the winds are going to be hovering around 20 miles per hour, and there's going to be rain. And I'm looking at it in millimeters. I have no idea how that converts to inches. Tim, do you know that?
Well, it's 5.2. It's 2.54 centimeters per inch. So you multiply it by 10.
All right, so it's 6 millimeters, 5 millimeters. That's not a ton.
No.
I mean, it's not going to be a torrential downpour. Potentially. I mean, it still could be. It's the weather. We don't know.
I heard they were going to cancel the game and season entirely, Pat.
There's just no more football.
Yep.
Too much rain.
Which, to be fair, you probably could have done that in Cleveland a couple years back and really saved a lot of people some heartache.
Yeah, that's probably true. So
Just-
the big thing is, like, you've been tracking the over-under in this game. It's
Yeah.
gone from 47 to 40.
40.
That's crazy.
I think over 40 is the freest money imaginable.
That's scary. But I would say that we should take this as a lesson to possibly what ownerships are doing right now on DraftKings. Because as I said, I think a lot of people right now do have stars scrubs lineups. I'm sure Antonio Brown's ownership, not astronomical,
it's gonna
but
be
it was
down.
big, and now it's going to be down.
The problem was, like, I liked Brown anyway, but I was using more Keenan Allen. I was using more A.J. Green. I was using more Michael Thomas because they were significantly cheaper.
Yes.
And I thought in this matchup they had equivalent upsides. I still like
the top 5
and I
guys
also-
at wide
didn't-
receiver have
I also
fantastic
didn't adjust my
matchups.
rankings. Like, I still have Brown at number 1 because what am I going to put him at number 3?
I mean, he's still Antonio
Like, who
Brown.
cares?
Yeah.
Although DraftKings threw me under the bus this morning, tweeting out
I saw
rankings.
that.
They tweeted out rankings from Monday. They're like, that had like Le'Veon Bell still at number 3 before the whole
he
holdout
could
happened.
still surprise us all.
I know that he's coming back. so I kept him
WWE
at 3.
entrance music
Yeah.
special.
He's not coming back till week 10. Just accept that as a reality.
Well, now that you've said it and you've drafted him, do you feel responsible for this?
I take no responsibility. It's unfortunate. I cased this thing out perfectly last season, and
Well,
it
you didn't because it didn't
this
happen.
season, I went the other the theory of the case I presented last season was the perfect one for this year, and this year's case is the perfect one for last year. So as usual in this world, I'm ahead of the curve.
That's one way to look at it.
Ahead
the
of
other
the
way to
curve
look at
or
it is
just
you're wrong.
behind the times, yeah, or incorrect. That's a way that a lot of people
Anyway,
would.
he's not playing till week 10. Anything you can get for him in a trade, take pretty
And,
much.
well, then why wouldn't you? I offered you $13 fab dollars for him, and you
Because
wouldn't
it's
do
a
it.
keeper
That's
league.
that's
It's not a
anything.
redraft.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
not
keeper league that you can't fucking keep him in.
Yes, I can. I haven't played him. I'll redshirt him.
You'll redshirt him for next year?
I want a Jet in the first round, so I'll just redshirt him.
I mean, I redshirted James Conner last season.
Yeah,
Worked out great for me.
What round? Like the 13th or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the first overall pick in the draft. Tim says he's competing this year in that league. Not going to happen.
No, I'm not now. It was a bad pick. I knew at the time it was a bad pick. It was hard to justify when I made it.
Tim,
Great.
you loved my team before this all happened. How much do you love my team now?
I think your team is stacked.
Yeah.
That's bad news
bad
for you.
news.
Everyone he's picked, the top 3 teams in Tim's rankings each year never win. It's fantastic. That's
a good point.
Back to Brown.
Yes.
Are you going to play him on DraftKings?
Yeah, I'll have exposure. I think I'm going from.
I'm only playing 5 lineups this week. I'm dipping my toe in.
Oh.
I'm trying out different strategies here because I'm used to playing the 20 or the 25 max and just I decided to pace myself here. We'll see how week 1 guy. I hope this isn't the week I'm horribly right.
That's the fear, isn't it?
And I don't have enough. Yeah, but I don't want to start playing that game.
That fear is paying our
so
salary.
I'm not using Antonio Brown.
Okay.
I had built out 25 lineups, and he's in 25 lineups, so I'm not playing 25 lineups. I'm only playing 5. I just started cutting them down.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd be concerned. I would be.
No, I'm concerned, but I do think at a certain point where if people are truly scared away from Antonio Brown in a situation that, let's be honest, for as much as we can read about it, I really don't know what it's going to look like today.
Yeah.
The winds are bad. That's fair. And the fact that this wind thing has kind of cropped up in the rain, it really has detracted from a problem that we know has been very relevant the last 3 seasons, which is that Ben Roethlisberger can't play quarterback on the road. Like, I believe it's 18 of the last 22 1 p.m. road starts for the Steelers have gone under. That's going to be harder now that the total is 40, not 47, but Ben is very rarely a top 10 quarterback on the road at 1 p.m.
Okay, so let's say.
But I think
start or sit in a 12-team league.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown. Start or sit.
I'm going to start Antonio Brown.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Here's where it gets interesting. I think in a 12-team league, you're still probably forced to start him. But
You
I'm
could
not,
have better options.
I'm
Let's say in a PPR you had Juju and Danny Amendola.
Ooh.
I would start Juju, and I wouldn't think twice.
I would start Juju
Yeah.
as well. But
It's the fact it's even a thought
That-
process
that's
is
the whole
interesting.
thing.
And I'm steering so and even just
I'm not playing Josh Gordon.
no.
I'm just sitting Josh Gordon.
But even like
He's on a snap count to begin with, and now we're dealing with this.
yeah, it's bad. But even like Buddy Calhoun is one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league last season. Like I think it was 0.61 yards per opponent route covered, which was the best rate in the NFL. Like he's the Browns have completely overhauled their roster. I think they have like 9 guys from last season, and Calhoun is very obviously one of those dudes because he was actually really good. So I think there's a lot of small stuff that starts building up into a very, very solid case against sacking the Steelers. But at the same time, I again think James Conner's a free space. And I just think
I
Antonio
don't
Brown's,
think he's a free space.
I think he's a
just
free space.
don't.
Free parking on Monopoly? Is that what he is?
I think he's a free space.
Well,
I think he's the middle square.
what sort
on a
of
big
Monopoly rules are we playing here? That like if you land on free parking, you get cash out of the middle, which is not a real rule.
board. Is it not?
No.
Oh, I guess it's
That's
not
a
true,
home
yeah.
rule.
Oh, but it's the only way to play.
That's the only way Tim can compete in Monopoly. His entire game is geared around landing on free parking. He also
doesn't buy
enjoys not buying properties.
I was gonna say, he doesn't buy any property just so he can make sure he has enough money for Boardwalk and Park Place.
No, he won't
hate
buy.
Boardwalk
He won't buy Boardwalk or Park Place.
Tell me you don't buy the green ones, because those are the real
No,
scams.
the numbers say you should be buying the orange one because you're most likely to be in jail, and 7 is the most likely roll, and so you want the orange properties. If you want to win a Monopoly, that is the way you play.
Tim has never
Like
won at
it's-
Monopoly.
it's
Do you know
not
why?
even contestable.
Because he only tries to buy those 3 properties, and that's it. Now he is right. You do land on St. James, Tennessee, and New
more
York
often
more
than
than
not.
anything. But people land on the other spaces too.
Yeah, that also occurs during the course of the game, sure.
Oh, Tim. Jesse James with Vance McDonald out. I think he's in that Ryan Griffin tiers. If this is going to be a shitty weather game, and you're not going to be able to take shots down the field because it's windy,
Short passes.
you look at a guy with a low ADOT who's a giant body who's lit up the Browns in the past.
Are you worried that much like
He's also like
things that
20
are
feet
super tall, he won't be
might
able to
blow
withstand
over?
the wind? He'll be like one of those inflatable tube men. Can't catch the ball that way.
Maybe if you hit it like the right angle.
That's true.
I think he's live. Like if I was Tim and I needed a tight end streamer, I would play Jesse James over playing Jalen Samuels.
Sure. I don't think he's a bad streaming option in a season-long format. I do feel like the amount of trust I'm willing to give the Steelers offense in this game.
You're going with it or not?
I'm going with it, but I'm only willing to allow myself to believe two members of the Steelers can sustain offense under
it's
all these conditions.
Connor and Brown?
And it's their running back who's going to get just volume, and the best receiver in the NFL.
That's fair. So, Tim, start or sit Carlos Hyde?
Start.
I think of the 3 Cleveland running backs, he is the starter. I don't think he's a great start, though. I have him in like the low mid-20s.
I wouldn't play him on DraftKings, but I think in a season-long format, yeah.
Okay.
The way he was utilized with the first-team offense in preseason, like you can't learn a lot from preseason, but I think it was like 31 of the 34 first-team snaps he was out there. Like it's.
How about Jarvis Landry? Does this help or hurt Jarvis Landry? I think it might help him.
I think it helps him. Yeah. I don't think it helps him a phenomenal amount.
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I really do.
I like that when an over-under dropped 7 points, you think that it was going to cover the original over all of a sudden, when you weren't on that to begin the week.
No, I know, but the more I've thought about it, the more I've thought this has all the classic makings of like a game where, let's say, the Browns get up early by 20 points or 15 points, and then the Steelers roar back and score.
They often do that.
Like, I can see this game being 30-27 Browns. I really can. Or sorry, Steelers.
You need to take out your wallet, sir. Go enter the DraftKings Millionaire Maker and game stack this game. Because I don't think anyone.
I do have a game stack in mind, but this is not the one.
I think you and I might be on the same game stack, by the way.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Does it run ice water through your veins?
A little bit. I played out of the 5. I played one super contrarian lineup.
Yeah.
Just a different game stack that I know people are off. Okay. There is more rain expected in other games. I'm not too concerned about it. Baltimore, Carolina, and Miami. It's the wind that concerns me more than anything.
Yeah.
It's not the rain.
That's
now
not
if
the
it was
case.
like a monsoon, then yeah, that would.
Fair.
There'd be a lot of wind with a monsoon.
It's always been wind.
Xavier Rhodes looks like he's going to play. And also at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, following this show, The Sweat is going to be live on the DraftKings YouTube page and DraftKings Facebook page. You can tune into that. The inactives will have been released, and then we're going to be there for like 10 minutes. You're going to be on that show.
Yeah, I think I'll be on like 3 or 4 panels.
Okay, so they're going to have all the updated news. We're not going to know officially on a lot of these things until then.
But I remember Rhodes, even on the Friday when he first popped up on the injury list, it was one of those, he's questionable, but questionable in the sense that he's more likely to play than not likely to play. I think from the beat writers, that was kind of the consensus.
Anthony Costanzo and Marlon Mack are both going to test out their hamstrings before that Colts game. If Marlon Mack doesn't play, do you have interest in Jordan Wilkins? Or if Marlon Mack does play?
I'll be honest, I'm forced in a 12-man league to play Jordan Wilkins
Either way?
Either way.
Okay.
Just with the way, that was a league where I happened to draft McKinnon, so already you're starting to get a little desperate at running back, but it is a shame. Thank you, Tim. Here's the thing. I kind of like him in DraftKings just in the sense that, we keep hitting on this point. There's like 11 or 12 running backs priced under $5,000 who could conceivably get somewhere between 12 to 20 touches in this game.
Okay, so when we look at it, like Hyde would be on that list. Connor's on that list. Freeman, Carson, Burkhead, Barber, White, Wilkins. Like Adrian Peterson's just above that as well, but like if James Conner's going to be uber chalky right there.
I think Freeman too.
Freeman! You're not pronouncing it correctly.
Freeman.
Freeman.
Sorry.
The emphasis is on the man.
But they'll basically be like a black hole. Like I think in terms of ownership.
Yeah, like we all thought the Rex Burkhead was going to be super chalky like a month ago.
It's true.
And now he's not going to be. He's going to be owned. He'll be like 10% owned, but not like 35% owned like everyone thought. Because I do think that in that range, that Connor's going to be the highest owned. Or potentially even Freeman. Like I think Carson and Barber are the two to look for there. Like
Carson for me is it's a
bad matchup.
It's
stay
just
away.
Such a bad spot.
I would rather play Chris Carson over Wilkins just because the volume is going to be there for him, and I can't project that out with Wilkins. I have no idea.
That's true, but I even think if you go above $4,500, there's still some guys between 4, 5, and 5. Like I still love Dion Lewis.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think Dion Lewis is a lock for somewhere between 12 to 15 touches. I think the way the Dolphins' run defense has struggled and projects to struggle this season, I just think he's better than Derrick Henry. And
Derrick Henry.
I don't think he is, but I think Mariota wants to hit him.
Mariota! Oh, Tim has also come along to your way of thinking, by the way, that you both now think that Mariota is the worst quarterback in football.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Mariota!
He can still change my mind. It's just...
But like AP's in there too. I can't get a grasp on what he's going to do this week. Tim, you think he's going to have a good game?
I actually do, but the guy you haven't mentioned who I like better than all those guys is Alf.
You like Alfred Morris against the Vikings defense?
compared to some of these other scrubs, yeah, I kind of do actually.
Can
think
you-
Alfred
can
When
you
did
please
Alfred Morris stop being a scrub?
Also, can you list out the names that you project as scrubs? Can you please give us that list?
Well, you mentioned Wilkins. He's going to be better than him. You mentioned Adrian Peterson. Like he's going to be better than him.
You just said
You
he's
just
going to
said
have a
you
good
liked
game.
him. Yeah.
I like
and now you're,
Peterson,
and now
but I
you're
like
calling him a
Morris better.
scrub.
That's a
I
weird.
like Peterson, but I like Morris better. I actually think Morris is likely to have a very good day today
I would think that Breda scores more than Morris this week.
against a very overrated Vikings defense and a very overrated Vikings team. I think Alf could have a very nice.
Just because they signed a quarterback you don't like doesn't make their defense overrated somehow.
I agree. I'm not making that connection either.
I'm 100% sure you are.
I think that this is a game where the 49ers are able to take advantage of a lot of to be able to scheme. I think Shanahan will be able to scheme correctly to beat what Minnesota, which is a very limited team, and we saw that in the playoffs last year. That they're easily you can pick them apart pretty easily. It's just a
when
matter
faced
of
with the best defense in the NFL, they sometimes have trouble scoring the football
they gave up 34
with a
points
different
with
quarterback.
the backup quarterback. You can disagree with me. I think Alfred Morris has known it's his job for a couple of weeks. The Niners didn't move whatsoever to go get somebody else because that's how confident they were in Morris. I think Morris has a very good game. In fact, while I don't have a 49ers stack, I think that's actually a very reasonable way to play this. That's a very contrarian thing. I think the Niners kind of beat the brains in, so I kind of like that.
Well, look, I would at least say that while I'm not jonesing to play Marquise Goodwin, he's going to have a high target share in this game.
Yeah.
Who do you think Rhodes ends up covering? Goodwin or Garcon? I think that's the question. If you can
That's
figure
a
that
good
out,
question, yeah.
then you get access to pretty decent receiver at a pretty good price.
Yeah, I would say just with the uncertainty of that, I would
at
take
Goodwin because of the
Go with
upside.
Goodwin right now.
I agree.
But even still, that's a pure GPP punt.
So, fun fact, we're almost half an hour into the show, and I'm not even through the 5 notes that I have about the injuries I was supposed to talk about at the
Sweet.
top. So,
I'll be
Well,
quiet.
let's get through them.
Bosa and Eric Berry both going to be out.
Yep.
So this leads us to that game stack that we were talking about. In my lineups, I did play one Chief stack.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So we do have
perfectly
the same
fine.
stack.
Yeah, that's what I figured that you were going at.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers do win the game. I think there's a lot of points scored.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, that total, I believe, started about 2 points behind the Patriots-Texans game, and it's now a half point.
So it was Bosa was worth 2 points on the team total.
Maybe Bosa and Berry.
Potentially.
Because, look, Eric Berry was the only reason
I
to
didn't
be
think Eric,
optimistic.
but just putting Eric Berry in a
No,
secondary,
wasn't
I
gonna
don't think was
help that.
stopping the Chargers.
No, but at least it was something. It was something to cling to where the Chiefs have tended to play better when Barry's captaining their defense. But I still thought that defense was going to be horrendous. But you now lose the only piece any team would actually want to pilfer from the Chiefs. You're not left with a whole lot. So, yeah, I have no problem stacking both sides of this because I do think probably, would you say now that we have the definitive level of rain in Pittsburgh that Rivers Allen is going to be the most popular QB wide receiver stack?
Or Dalton AJ Green. A lot of people are playing
that's
Dalton.
true. That's
and
true.
Brady Hogan.
Yes.
Brady Gronk, Brady Hogan. Like, triple stack wise, I think that for KC, Tim, would you say it makes the most sense to play Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey?
Yep, absolutely.
And then you bring it back with Melvin Gordon? Or Keenan Allen? Or both?
Nah. I don't
like
think I
Melvin
want
a
the
lot.
other side of that game as much. I
What
don't
do you
have
think? The
much
Chargers are
faith
going to score 2 points?
No, I don't think that. But I'm just saying there are other players I like better. I just
Okay.
don't want any Chargers in this game. I said this on Twitter. I actually don't think this game's going to be close. I think the Chargers are going to struggle, and I think the Chiefs are going to win pretty comfortably.
I don't know. I can't see the Chiefs team. Maybe I'm just completely wrong about
And
the
they have
Chiefs
other
defense.
players. Some like Justin Houston
It
could
would
show up.
just be you. many very strongly and correctly opinionated people in the NFL world.
All right, so before we get to a few questions here, the last thing I wanted to touch on from the morning news, unless I missed something, I'm sure you're keeping track of this as we go along.
I haven't seen anything major yet.
Ian Rappaport reported that Austin Carr is going to start at slot receiver for the
Yep,
Saints.
picked him up in our keeper league this morning.
Did you? Oh, you were on top
Oh,
of
yeah.
that. Are you playing
As soon
him?
as I saw that, I was like, well, I'm getting a slot receiver in the best offense in the NFC, perhaps in the NFL. Gimme.
Gimme.
Gimme,
Are you
yeah.
are you starting him? I would not start him this week.
I'm not starting him, but he's someone I've got my eye on to maybe start in weeks 2 or 3 if he pops.
You got a good team over there in the keeper league, don't you?
My team has a lot of problems, but I am trying to pick up young talent and hope that 1 or 2 guys pop, and I can either trade them or keep them.
All right, ready for some questions?
Yes.
All right, so everyone out there, give the episode a like, and we're gonna spend from 11:10, like the last 15 minutes of the show, answering as many questions that we can get to. But the rankings are already there, and that's where I'm leaning. If you have a specific question for Garion or Tim, make sure that you mention that, so I just don't rapid fire answer it. Or if it's a question that can be answered by the cheat sheet or by the rankings, I suggest you go do that. Again, episode a like, keep it free, and keep us live on Sundays, chatting with you out there. Chris says, I'm staying away from the Carolina and Cleveland games today due to weather. Thanks, Chris. That's not a question. You're ruining it for everyone, Chris.
Ban
right?
him.
Banned? Oh, let's put him in a tie. He's on timeout. No, David asks, I know it's not ideal, but I managed to win a Millionaire Maker ticket. I don't see how that's not ideal.
That's
that
pretty
sounds
great,
ideal.
actually.
How contrarian should I be? Money left on the table or multiple sleepers? A lot of people are coming over from golf season.
Yeah.
Listen, if you leave $100 on the, just in general, it's really hard to duplicate an NFL DraftKings lineup because there's so many different combinations.
Exactly.
Now,
Especially week one where I guess that 12-game slate is one of the larger Sunday slates we'll get all season until the buys start kicking in.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways to differentiate here that you don't have to go out of your way to leave a grand.
and
on the
listen,
table.
even when Levy went over the Millionaire Maker winners, it's like cheap quarterbacks and like two chalk guys, and then not necessarily not Austin Carr, not anything like that, but
No.
it's like
It's a
5%
couple
guys.
eights,
You know what it is this week? It's like Joe Mixon I have projected at 2%. LaShawn McCoy I have projected at 1%. Those are the types of guys. Good
Yeah,
players.
McCoy is precisely the type of guy you're talking about.
I actually have in my contrarian big contrarian DK lineup. LaShawn McCoy's in it. I don't know if it's going to be a good player or not, but he's coming in at 1%.
Maybe
he's
we should
LaShawn
go over
McCoy.
that though quickly. Just who is the chalk at each position?
So I do this on. I'm doing this every Friday afternoon.
Well,
with
I
Ulrich.
apologize then.
No, I release a show, but just to update it, at running back, Kamara is going to be like 35% owned.
I just want to talk about this
the
for one second because I agree with you 100%, and I even saw you and Reed Fowler debate this on the Sweat a couple days back. Do you feel like it's just the $300 difference in the point total that's keeping people away from David Johnson? Because
I think it's the price and the point total and the fact that people haven't seen in every article I've seen this week, whether it's from Daily Roto, Guru Elite, Roto Grinders, even my article
just
has
the
Alvin
he's the
Kamara
cash
as the
game player.
fucking pitcher guy.
Look,
Everyone's playing. I'm playing. Kamara's a great play this week. Watch him do nothing.
he is, but I feel like David Johnson is equally as great a play.
I agree, and you're getting him at 1/7 the ownership. The tournament move is to play David Johnson over Kamara. But I don't want to be sitting here watching I pivoted off of Alvin Kamara, and now Alvin Kamara has 45 points.
Sure, and that's
sweet.
That's fair. I just feel like if you look at it, not in a vacuum, you can't look at anything necessarily in a vacuum.
You can. What if you're inside of the vacuum?
That's a good point.
You've been shrunking down. Let's throw this
you've
scenario.
been Matt Damon.
No.
Oh.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You are more Rick Moranis, sir, than you are Matt Damon. I hate to tell you.
I bet you Garion's too young to even know those movies.
The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies. Yeah, I'm too young to know the Rick Moranis
Well, I make
classic.
references to things all the time that you've never heard of. So
You reference things from the 40s.
Yeah.
You're talking about newsreel films during World War II. Here's how the boys are doing overseas. Those are the movies that you enjoy.
You think you're funny.
I do love the old-timey news voice.
It's a great voice. I just tended to think that with Le'Veon Bell being taken off this slate, not that they'd be even necessarily, but I did figure that Johnson would be within 10% ownership of Kamara, and
He's not going to be.
which is it just seems
Ooh, I have nicotine gum
it
in my
seems
pocket.
wrong to me. It just seems wrong. That's great.
I'm trying to quit smoking. It's not going well.
He was one of 7 running backs in 2016 to play more than 75% of their offensive team snaps, and it wasn't even particularly close. We know the kind of volume share this guy can have, and I'm still not convinced just because Ingram's not there that all of a sudden Kamara's going to be playing 70% of the snaps.
Oh, you know what I did want to bring up? Gillisley. People keep talking to me about Kamara versus Gillisley. I can just get Gillisley's going to play the Ingram role. Da 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 da.
No, that's
Gillisley's cheap.
How?
What?
How many times has Mike Gillisley been
Once.
to somebody that people in the fantasy community are obsessed about, and he turns out to be a big nothing burger?
He's Kristen Michael Jr. basically.
Yeah, in fairness, he's been more effective in his
He
career
has,
than
yes.
Christine. Old Christine. Not even new Christine. Old Christine.
The Old Adventures of Old Christine.
But the thing with Gillisley is think about what he has to do to pay off on DraftKings.
Probably score two
Two
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
He needs to score 2 touchdowns based on his limited volume, and he might do it. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's-
But like that's a really
not
hard
where
thing
you
to
wanna
get
put
behind.
your money. Yeah.
I mean, this question period is just going so well that we've gotten to no questions. But I have an article up. I'm going to start releasing this every Saturday on DK Playbook. It just lists the chalk, that what I project to be chalk. So over 15% owned running backs: Kamara, Burkhead, Melvin Gordon, Christian McCaffrey. Over 15% receivers: Brown. Although
So
that
you don't think Connor reaches that?
I don't know.
Really?
I think there's just
No,
too many
no
guys right there.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that he's like, I haven't projected at 14%.
That's fair. Okay.
Brown, Keenan Allen. I don't know about Brown now. This was on Saturday.
Can we talk about one Keenan thing just quickly? I'm sorry. Okay, never mind.
Can you just let me finish the fucking list?
Fine.
Brown, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, Keelan Cole, DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Hogan, and Emmanuel Sanders.
Right.
Projected over 7% quarterbacks: Brady, Rivers, Breeze, Watson, and Andy Dalton. Tight ends projected over 10%: Gronk, Jack Doyle, and Tim's buddy, ASJ, Austin Safarian Jenkins for some
I
reason.
actually think he's a reasonable play this week, as much as I don't like him.
All right. But you're playing Jalen Samuels instead?
I'm trying to hit lightning in a bottle. You leave me be.
I
know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you sure do. Defense is over 7%: Ravens, Jags, Saints, and Patriots.
Okay.
So you back to,
Patriots. Oh my goodness.
yeah, I don't
That's
get it either.
crazy. That should be like the most contrarian play.
It's not. No one's playing the Texans D. I'm actually playing the Texans D in this.
Yeah, that's the way to play. There's turnovers to be had there.
I was just gonna say about that
Keenan
Charger
Allen?
situation in Keenan Allen. Are we not at all worried about Kendall Fuller?
No.
No.
Okay, that's fine. He exceedingly good slot cornerback from last season. I understand that Allen can be moved around the field.
That's the
I
whole
understand that he
thing.
has
It's like
incredible amount.
It's like the Ramsey and Beckham thing. They're just. I mean, they should be moving Beckham around the formation
Yeah.
to get him off of Ramsey.
True.
He might try to shadow him, but eventually you can throw a pick in there and get him.
Beckham
off.
operates probably the best out of the slot.
Yeah.
You would hope
Who's
they
the
realize
quarterback
this at
then?
this point.
Who do you see? You said a scrub quarterback is the ticket to the Millie Maker winner. Who's that scrub quarterback?
do-
this
uh,
week?
Got a couple Fitz lineups.
Is it Eli Manning?
I have some I have a Fitzmagic
Yeah.
lineup as well. It's the spot. Like that could be 3.5 quarters of garbage time.
He's gonna throw 40 times, and
Or more.
There is no doubt about that in my mind.
Like
Yeah, I was thinking maybe or Alex Smith or Sam Bradford could be that person.
Oh, come on. You got a Nate Peterman lineup. You know you do.
I think Peterman will actually play decently today. Not great, but I think he'll actually play creditably.
The three from down there that I think that you could use, the Fitzmagic, Keenum, and Tannehill would be the three. And I hate
Damn.
Ryan Tannehill, but I just
know
like
you
how
do.
that offense. I think that if you use Tannehill, you use Stills, and you use Amendola with him, and just roll that out and hope that triple
Eli
stack
is
hits.
so cheap, man.
Listen, this is not going to turn into anti-Jags radio on a Sunday morning, but like,
I mean, can be.
give your head a shake. Eli Manning against the Jags D.
Yeah, I'm not.
In a-
too- I mean,
in-
the
in a
Steelers
game-
picked that Jags D apart. The Patriots picked that Jags D apart.
So you're putting last year Eli on the same page as Brady and Roethlisberger.
I expect him to be better in a new system, and he's got one of the most dominant receivers in football out there.
You're
Sterling Shepard's an excellent player.
You're
too.
such a sad man. Listen,
I like the
listen,
Giants.
listen to your bias getting in the way.
I'm not, no, it's not my bias. It's what I think.
Eli's better than Brady. That's such a ludicrous claim.
Although he is 2-0 in Super Bowls against him, I didn't say that.
All right, question from Richard: is Jordan Wilkins a better flex play over Josh Gordon or Tyler Lockett? I think it's close
Yes.
with Gordon.
I would put Wilkins out there
because you want the
ahead of
running
those
back
two,
in your
but
flex if at all possible. So
That is horrible advice. Don't listen to that.
I
man.
will say though, under the circumstances with which we find Josh Gordon, I think it's easiest to say that Wilkins has the highest volume share of those three.
He does.
players.
The highest upside is clearly Gordon.
Yes,
But
not to say that Wilkins doesn't have upside though.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you're just discrediting Lockett here.
No, I think Lockett's in a decent spot.
Like Tim keeps talking about that Pittsburgh Cleveland over, which he likes so much. I think Denver Seattle's a shootout. I really.
Oh
do.
sure, no, I think there's a real possibility of that. And I
well,
think too, like if
one
there was
side can score.
whatever.
He happens to think Russell Wilson is also bad.
Yes,
No, I don't.
Either way, if there was an aspect of Denver's defense that actually carried over from last season, that from seasons prior, they were still exceedingly good against the run. So you would think at a certain point Pete Carroll just decides
Hey.
we can't run the ball.
And they
Let
can't
me
run
just-
the ball anyway.
Yeah, let's just let Russell throw it 45 times.
So you have Chris Harris locking down Doug Baldwin, presumably, and then Talib is gone. What does that really do?
Yeah, I mean,
like
look-
in terms of like locking people down, it could be Jaron Brown. That would be my problem with Lockett.
Yeah.
It could be Jaron Brown. It could be Nick
Nick
Vannett,
Vannett.
like we talked about, or it could just be Doug Baldwin.
yeah,
Like I like Doug Baldwin as a contrarian play this week. I don't project him to be super high.
No, I like that too.
I feel like it's going to be super huge or super low.
He's going to have
and you
10
roll the
targets. So
he might have more than 10 targets in this game.
That's
underdogs on the road with a team that can't run anyway, and the number one locked-in receiver.
That's
It's a roll of the dice. All right. Oh, Rud Nasty Tim. He has a question for you. He needs the scoop on my big green jumbo Jets.
Get excited. Tomorrow is when Napoleon takes the field and marches through these guys.
Well, there you go.
I expect him to have 300 yards passing. I expect 2 touchdowns. I don't expect a turnover.
He has backed off on projecting Sam, Super Bowl Sam, as he called him on Wednesday, and he projected him for 400 yards passing.
No, that's not what I said. If you were listening closely,
I was listening. You're just insane and don't remember what you said.
I said I hope he has the same breakout rookie game that Cam Newton had when he threw for 400 yards. I'm hoping that. I think 300 yards against a very porous Lions secondary. And good. We have the fastest receiving core in football. The idea that the Jets aren't going to be able to score with by far the fastest receivers is crazy. That will be an underappreciated fact for the first few weeks, is how much faster, quicker, and more dominant the Jets receivers are than they were last year, because they have a quarterback who can get them the ball, who's got profound skills with accuracy and arm strength. The sky is the limit. So, Bud, get excited. Tomorrow is the breakout game, and everybody who wishes they were on the Jets train will be hopping onto the caboose desperately while we are chugging into the next station.
Let me ask you this, Tim. This year, who's better, Brady or Darnold?
I don't want to answer.
Oh, my God.
I choose not to answer that question.
You're pleading the fifth? I plead the fifth.
Fine. You know what?
There are so many
I'll say what I believe.
Oh, no.
I'll say what I believe. I think for this season, Brady is fractionally better.
No, you're not. Tim, you know what you're not doing right now? You are not. You're a liar, and you are
that.
not living your truth, pal.
But I do believe by season.
I saw a Nike ad that said he does live his truth.
I did see
he
that,
only
too.
exceedingly lives his truth.
All right, some questions, very rapid fire. We'll go around the horn. Gary and you first.
Sure.
Tim, you second. All right?
Okay.
Would you play Marshawn Lynch, Carlos Hyde, or Bilal Powell in full point PPR? Lynch is dealing with a...
I think I'd go Hyde.
I would play Lynch. Tim?
I would play Powell.
Okay, there you go.
Wow. I hope that helped.
Crabtree or Crowder with bad weather expected in Baltimore? I would play Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder.
Crowder!
Crowder, but it's not because of the weather.
Yeah, I don't think the weather's that
the
bad. Like,
weather-
it's kind of raining. That's it. Like, it's drizzling. Like, don't worry about
I
it.
just don't trust Michael Crabtree. Sorry.
Crab people.
You know how old that reference
Lamar
is?
Crab?
When did that?
It was in the episode where they were spoofing the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
That's true.
That's right.
Standardly, Kenny Stills to pay the bills or Isaiah Crowell? Stills. I don't think that's close.
Stills.
Tim, your buddy Crowell, you playing back? Is your backfield Powell and Crowell this week in that team you're talking about?
I'm curious if he will tell.
No.
If he will tell someone to play both Crowell and Powell.
No, it would be, as you said, Stills. But Crowell's an interesting little play.
Draft.
A lot of points to be scored tomorrow night.
Play Powell, play Crowell, play Sam Darnold. You got the fastest receivers ever assembled in one team.
Yeah, so the
Be the
safeties have got to be
fastest
70 yards down the field, which opens up the running lanes.
That's true.
No,
Everyone's in prevent D the entire time.
was
The Lions are going to
Salfino-
beat them by fucking 30 points. Get over
It was
yourself.
Salfino who tweeted this out that gave me that information, I have to say.
That's great. You're going to listen to Salfino. Was he just angry about everything at all times? Then he'll make
And people are giving the Jets no credit. He's right. They don't give us any credit.
So Super Jets fan Michael Salfino agrees with Super Jets fan Tim Andercast. The world is against us.
Oh, God.
Did Salfino also make a really definitive statement about something that clearly is very objective or subjective?
Well, that may have happened, but that wasn't the point of that tweet. Just about how fast the Jets receivers are, because they're blazing quick.
Melvin Gordon, Fournette, or Zeke on DraftKings? I like Melvin
Zeke.
Gordon.
Yes, Melvin Gordon.
No, Zeke.
Zeke does sneak?
Look, the only reason to play Zeke, and I will say,
No one's playing
to
Zeke.
have variance is good. But if the only reason you're playing someone is variance,
Well, no, Zeke is also good.
he's also good. But like the Panthers' defense is fantastic. They've allowed 200-yard rushes the last 2 seasons.
But who else does Dallas have? Other than Michael Gallup, who I think could be interesting today in a deeper format, I mean, it's Zeke and it's no one else. So,
Look, he ran a ton of routes last season. I think he was third among running backs in routes run. But he was targeted on a percentage basis of those only more often than Lamar Miller. Like, until I actually see this, we're going to utilize Zeke in the passing game thing, I just don't trust it right now. And I think there are more than enough top-end running back options that I think will have similar outputs where I'm fine.
So it's why go after the bad situation?
Just why attack this right now? Like, there's a very good chance he runs for 85 yards and a touchdown in this game. That's fine. I just think there are options that have much higher ceilings than Zeke does.
He'll have his catches because necessity is a mother of invention, and they need to throw it to somebody.
Yeah, they have Tavon Austin for that now.
That's true.
And they've been talking him up.
Rod Smith.
No, was it Rod Smith? No, it wasn't. Former Dallas, I saw some horrible news story about someone who used to play for I think it was Julia, not Randall. I forgot who it was. Some
also
awful. Maybe it wasn't Rod.
They still have the Bees.
The Bees! Tim, who do you think scores more points this week? The Bees or Kittle Me Timbers? Paul dropped the mouse behind the camera. Question for you, Gary. Carlos Hyde in half-point PPR or Robbie Andercast?
Not close.
Which one is it then?
It's Anderson. It's not close.
I think I'd still go. So wait, question, because
every Jets player is a must-start.
Well, that's fair,
no,
but
not
I
true.
could also say, Tim, definitively this guy is talking about his flex right now. You have gone on record saying always play the running back in flex situations.
When it's close, yes, you prefer the running back.
You've
but
never
I don't
never added the when it's close part. You'd say always play a running back in your flex.
It is preferable, but
why is it preferable?
Because they get the goal line touches.
1972.
Why don't you just play your best player in the flex?
That's the way I was trained when I started playing fantasy. Was that you're supposed to play a running back at flex, and it stuck.
Who trained you when you started your fantasy football training? Who was this who trained you?
Like when I started doing it, that's what I was taught. Like that's how I learned, and that's when I read about stuff and read about fantasy. Like that's what the advice always was. So I'm sorry, I cannot exculpate that from my mind.
I would just say Hyde. I just think Hyde has a level of volume in this game that it makes me
do we think that Robbie's getting slayed?
Probably,
if that's the case, then he's not going to have it. Then you want to play Little Quincy.
That is the most likely scenario, yeah.
But he's so fast.
He is very fast.
Fastest man alive.
I don't dislike Robbie Anderson this week. I just think I would rather have Carlos Hyde.
Who is a good and cheap wide receiver to put in your flex for the afternoon if you want to pivot to Royce Freeman? Oh, I see. I mean, why not just play Royce Freeman?
I don't know why you'd have to wait on that.
Yeah, you can put in Royce Freeman now. Like, if you want to pivot off of Royce Freeman, I would think that's something.
Sammy Watkins.
Oh, that's rough treading.
High ceiling.
So, yeah, I mean that's way more money. That's $5,100.
Yeah, because Royce is 4.5.
Yeah, so it has to be someone down there.
Let's see.
And who would it be? I mean, you could.
The Bees.
Yeah, the Bees. Tyler Lockett.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. Yeah, Terrell Williams.
What is Funchess going for?
Way too much. More than that.
And Funchess isn't in the late afternoon. Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
He's 5'2".
Yeah, he's 5'2". So Tim hasn't even looked at this.
Doxson? Why not Doxson?
Do we believe
he
in
probably
Doxson?
gets Peterson, doesn't he?
I don't know who Peterson's going to cover in that game. Doxson's a potential flyer.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say Mike Williams is probably my favorite afternoon receiver under 4K.
Standard league, would you play Royce Freeman or Chris Hollywood Hogan? I would play Chris Hogan.
Hogan, yeah.
Tim?
Yeah, I would play Hogan.
Connor versus Carlos Hyde. I would play James Conner.
I'd play Connor too.
I would play Hyde.
But you wouldn't play him over Robbie Anderson.
Where is Connor in your season long?
13,
14?
I believe I have him at number 16 in the running back. Okay. I have Hyde at like 26 or something.
Yeah.
Tim, here's one for you. Ryan Griffin or Kittle Me Timbers?
I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's real anymore.
I would play Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, I think Griffin's.
I would gamble on the upside of Ryan Griffin. Tim, who would you take?
I would take Kittles. The Niners are going to score a lot of points today.
The issue I would have with whatever, even if you think Minnesota's defense is overrated, even if you think the Niners are going to put up a bunch of points.
Still having a fucking gig thing.
I'm going on mute.
But they are strongest at the safety position. Like they have, by Pro Football Focus, the best coverage safety in the NFL in Smith, and Sendejo's really good too. So tight ends against Minnesota is not a well that I'll be going to a lot this season. I just think it's like an awful situation. And Kittle also, I don't know, I don't necessarily trust the volume in that.
Do you trust his Timbers?
I do trust his Timbers.
Tim's over there like outside smoking or something now, like trying to calm himself down before he hits unmute. Would you play, let's see here, Russell Wilson or Jared Goff? I would play Russell Wilson.
Yeah, just play
you
Wilson.
play the best.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
It's a bad matchup. I get that.
Is it though?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is.
On paper, I think that we are projecting it out to be a bad matchup.
The
That's what I'm saying.
implied team total is like 20.
Okay, do you know who doesn't have a hard matchup? Jared Goff.
It's true, but I just don't overthink this.
Yeah,
Just play
I would play Russell Wilson as well. And Tim, you would
I agree.
And you love
Like,
Jared Goff.
We already spelled
Yeah.
out what we believe to be the game script of that contest, which is run it into a brick wall a couple times in the first quarter, throw away that half of the playbook, and just go, Russ, just go throw
Do what you got to do, man.
45 times.
Yeah,
You
go
can't
make
do
it up.
every
We're
single-
playing backyard football now.
Yeah.
Would you play Bruce Ellington or Keelan Cole? I would still play Keelan Cole.
Yeah, just play Keelan Cole.
I think that's really close. Look,
I think in
Keelan Cole
in
is
DraftKings,
a fade on DraftKings.
Yes, in DraftKings, Ellington's the better play because Cole is the chalkiest chalk. But, but I think in a season-long setting where ownership doesn't matter, just play Cole. He's the
Keelan
better
Cole or
role.
Kelvin Benjamin. I would play Keelan Cole because Kelvin Benjamin reeks.
I kind of
Jimmy,
like Benjamin.
Jimmy Smith's not playing in this
I
game.
don't care. I'll cover Kelvin Benjamin. He won't get separation.
I kind of like
true.
Benjamin.
Tim will cover him and he won't get separation. And then he'll blow his knee out. Kelvin
No,
Benjamin
I
reeks.
really like him.
That also doesn't help.
Really's a strong
Yeah,
word.
I really like Kelvin Benjamin playing against
Well,
Baltimore.
he's the clear
Tim
best
Andercuts.
receiver on a football team that no one's talking about. Like,
Yeah, but
he's
that's like
a
I'm the
worse
best son
version of
my
what I
parents
think-
had. There's not a lot of choice.
like a worse version of what I see Mike Evans being today. Like the best receiver on a bad team that could make some noise.
Juju or Marvin Jones in the flex? I would play
Marv.
Marvin Jones.
Marv.
Tim?
Yeah, I would play Marv as well.
Keelan Cole or Jay Crowder? I think that's Jamison Crowder.
Crowder.
But I would play Crowder.
That's the name of the fantasy team I have up right now. It's Crowder.
Say it right, Frenchie.
Not
Cuss,
actually the quote.
Cuss, this is a question for you. Orange marmalade or peach preserves?
Oh, orange marmalade.
It's not even
Not close.
See, when Tim has definitive rankings,
Tim,
he can really get to the
Did
point.
you see the person who must be new to this whole Twitter thing
Hold
ask
up.
you what gap is on your recent
Oh,
rankings?
yes, I did.
This guy
I
is
didn't respond.
saying.
I was like, you'll figure it out.
This guy in the chat. Can you? Someone please look.
Got
I,
West
I
Virginia?
haven't seen this, and I've been trying to scan Twitter. It said on Yahoo Sports. It says that the Cleveland Steelers game is postponed. What? That can't be real.
I saw a buzz of that on Friday.
I saw a
but
buzz of it too, but like I would have figured
That-
that'd be the only thing on my timeline right
Yeah,
now. People
I don't-
freaking out.
see anything about that right
Yeah, I don't. It hasn't popped up for me yet. So
I will keep my eyes peeled on it.
Well,
if I
again,
see something, I
people
will
can also
break in.
follow DK Live. They'll,
yeah,
they'll
DK,
have
the
all
DK
this
Live
stuff.
app will have all that stuff.
Oh wait, plenty of rain, wind expected in Cleveland and that's it. 2 minutes ago.
All right, so
the most
not
recent
canceled.
two updates
Fake. You know what that is?
are-
Fake news.
Yeah, the most
This
recent
guy's
two
fake
updates
news in the
are
chat.
blocked.
Yes, block him.
Yeah, block him. Although he might just be reporting what it says.
Block him.
Possibly.
I'm gonna
best-
be a more reasonable person.
Mute him for a bit.
Chris Carson or Marvin Jones?
Marv.
Yeah, I'd play Marv in that spot too.
Chris Carson.
Well, Tim has high hopes for my fantasy team.
Well,
this
the
week.
Jets
Oh,
are
yeah,
winning
I guess he's
40-0,
playing the
so,
Jets.
yeah.
They're lockdown defense, and you got to watch out.
Great
that
pass
doesn't
defense
even
last
go
season.
through my mind when I say these things.
No, it's just built in. Nothing goes through your mind. You're just like the cow in Homer's head going.
No, that's the turtle who's playing his shell.
And who's playing the
Little
wash?
monkey?
Who's playing the washboard?
I think that's the cow because it's the turtle who's playing his shell.
This is correct. Alan Hearns or Kenny Stills to pay
Stills.
La Bills?
Stills.
It's Kenny Stills, right?
It stills.
Landry or Marvin Jones? Marvin Jones for me.
Yeah.
Michael says, in reference to Tim, Calvin Benjamin runs like my grandma, and she died in 2016.
There you go.
That is the best. That is maybe the single best scouting report I've ever heard on any player.
I guarantee a touchdown out of out of Calvin Benjamin.
Guarantee it.
You guarantee it? Would you like to make a bet on that?
Stop
Even money?
stealing my bit.
Tim, would you play Calvin Benjamin or Chris Godwin? I would play Chris Godwin.
I would play Benjamin.
I'd play Benjamin.
I would not. Crabtree or Ice Cream Cohen, Tim's buddy. I would play Crabtree there.
Yeah.
Oh, Cohen, no question.
Crabtree has the volume share in that offense.
Josh Gordon or Corey Davis in standard. I would play Davis.
Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Jordan makes a comment, not so much a question. And normally I'm not big on comments and not questions, but he does say, start all the lovely players from Notre Dame. Would that be your advice too, Tim?
Yeah. All right. That person is trying to be funny. Blah blah blah. Even
Well,
though Notre
they're
Dame
succeeding in
great
being
NFL
funny.
players.
Carson or Barber? That's really close.
I
for
think
me.
it's Barber.
I think it's. Yeah, it's probably
Carson.
Barber. That's a coin flip.
I think there's at least a possibility that Barber is involved in the passing game, whereas I don't see that aspect.
I think that is with Chris. I think Chris Carson will be involved in the passing game. I think he's going to be on the field a lot.
Maybe.
I'm going to use Tim's lovely friend, CJ Protype.
Well, Procise is a good. No, I'm not even going to step into that trap.
You can't play Procise. Procise at
No, you
best is a
can't. You
reason
can't.
to not play Carson. He is not someone you can
Yeah,
play.
I agree.
Amendola or Burkhead in the DK early slate in cash games. I would play Burkhead.
Burkhead in the cash
I think you can play.
Amendola.
I think you can play both of them in cash. To be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, okay, but I am without question playing Burkhead in a cash game. I'd have to think about Amendola
Okay.
in a cash game.
James Conner or LaShawn McCoy?
Connor.
I played McCoy. Tim?
Boy.
Again, I don't.
It's closer than I would just lean on the guy who's probably gonna we can talk about the potential volume for James Conner all we want. We don't know. Shady's touching the ball 30 times.
That's fair. But again, just going off the entire course of his career.
Okay, what if James Conner is secretly made of sugar and he melts in the rain?
That'll be good news for Jalen Samuels.
Would you play Lockett or Deion Lewis? I'd play Deion Lewis.
I'd play Deion
That's
Lewis.
not super close.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis.
Demarius or Connor? I'd play Connor.
Thomas.
Ooh. That's close. I would go Connor, but that's close.
Crowder or Funchess? I would play Crowder.
Crowder.
I like Crowder a lot this year.
Keenum, Big Ben, or Jimmy G? I think I'd play Keenum.
Oh, Jimmy G.
I think I'd play Keenum.
Yeah, I think it's Keenum.
At home, favorites
Yeah.
against that bad Seattle D.
I think it's Keenum.
Melvin or Gronk as a DK flex? I'd play Gordon.
Yeah.
Gronkowski.
And again, Melvin, you did have Melvin
Rich.
inside your top 5 ownership, right?
Yep. Yeah.
There are 2 players who can score.
No,
on the
I'm
Patriots.
not. I
One-
don't have a
one-
problem with that. I'm just getting curious. I'm so interested in how that middle tier kind of shakes out. But yeah, Gordon's a great spot this week.
So is Gronk.
Sure, Gronk when healthy is always in a great spot.
And he's 6,900. It's very nice.
is-
Alan Hearns or Robert Woods? Woof. Eddie, man, that's rough for week 1.
Robert Woods.
Yeah, Robert
that's
Woods for me,
Woods.
too.
Although I think I like him the least of the 3 Rams receivers this week.
O.J. Howard or Ricky Seals-Jones? I'd play Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't look like
Seals-Jones.
Jermaine Gresham's going to play.
No, he's not going to play.
Okay.
O.J. Howard. Just a hunch.
Just a hunch? Would you play?
Look,
Can't-
if one of the well, actually that's not even true. I was gonna say if one of the two is gonna have a 60-yard touchdown, it's Howard, but Seals Jones, that's what he lives on is long touchdowns. So
Okay, let's see. Barber or Powell? I think that's Barber. I don't think that's super
Barber.
close.
Owl.
You're all over the map. I would actually like to see your rankings.
He's in one concentrated part of the map. It's New York.
Henry or Burkhead? I would say Burkhead.
Burkhead, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Mike Evans or Lamar Miller? I'd play Lamar Miller.
I would too, and I said there, I think Lamar Miller really will benefit from the loss of Fuller the Fifth.
But as much as we like Fitz, like that would seem to directly correlate with Mike Evans, no?
I don't think so, no. I think that correlates with Godwin, potentially Howard, potentially Brake, potentially in the backfield, potentially Deshaun Jackson. Like, Hump Daddy. Hump Daddy's still on the roster. He's not playing a ton, but Hump Daddy is just there lurking about. Tim's buddy.
Inspirational
Tim has
figure.
started Adam Humphries on a fantasy team more than any other person outside of potentially Adam Humphries' brother.
That's a fact.
I can't quit him. He's like my new Mike Sims Walker.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been good.
No.
I think once he had 4 catches in a game.
Yeah.
All right, last one here for at least for the podcast version, because we're going to try to throw this up on iTunes. Here's some breaking news. Will Fuller is officially out with a hamstring injury.
Okay.
So again, Bruce Ellington, and then Ryan Griffin.
Then
That's how I would.
Miller gets a little bit of a boost.
Miller gets a bit of a bump. You're probably not playing Bruce Ellington. You can play him on DK because he's super cheap.
Yeah, you're
Ryan
not-
Griffin is someone you could play in your season.
Yes.
If you're Tim at tight end who's playing Jalen Samuels on Yahoo, then that is a situation where you could play Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, there's more than enough receivers in a season-long aspect to not have to play him. But yeah, Griffin at tight end, sure, 100%.
Tim, any final thoughts before we bid adieu to the podcast listeners?
Best of luck to everyone in week 1,
Oh, yeah,
especially to those Texans.
thought.
Okay, well, what's that, Paul?
I said he just cursed everyone.
You just cursed everyone. Everyone's going to lose now.
Yeah.
Last one, very quickly. D.D. Westbrook or Keelan Cole? I would play D.D. Westbrook. especially on DK at 1/20th the ownership.
Sure. In
Sure,
DK,
why not?
yes. In a season long, I'm just playing Cole.
The Colts will have pregame workout for Marlon Mack. That's from 6 hours ago. That's not helping me at all. Ian Rappaport, or guy retweeting Ian Rappaport. Go fuck yourself. All right, that will do it for the podcast version. Video is going to remain live, again, every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, same place, DraftKings YouTube channel, Waiver Wire and Recap live with Jake Seeley. So be there for that. Thanks for watching. We'll hit you up, and we'll get back to some more questions right here on the YouTube feed. So you got to make sure to watch that next week. Tim, would you play Amari Cooper, Corey Davis, or Randall Cobb in a standard? I think I'd play
Cobb.
In a standard?
I think I'd play Davis in that spot.
Cobb, I guess.
Yeah. I would
I don't
lean,
like any of those guys, to be frank.
I would lean Davis. Yeah, Cooper's got some tough matchups this week.
Will Booker not play all of the third downs and get some carries? Why don't talk about him in PPR, Garion?
Devonta?
Yeah. It's like, what's the share? Like, if he's
I
only
just-
playing third downs.
I think we see a situation similar to what we have seen the last couple seasons, where it's just Booker will probably end the game with like 3 to 4 targets and 2 to 3 carries.
Oh, as expected, Sony Michel was officially out, too.
Okay. I don't think he was, even if he was active, I don't think he was going to have a whole heck of a lot to do on the field today.
Keenum or Big Ben?
Keenum.
So start loading.
Keenum.
But by the way, if you're out there watching right now, give the episode a like, because that does go a long way. And I'm just going to start from where I'm at right now. So if you left a question earlier that I didn't get to, reload it in and try to make it as start city as possible. And we're going to try to bang these out for the next 25 minutes for anyone watching. And hopefully we don't get too sidetracked with everything.
We will.
Jordan Howard or James Conner? I'd still play Howard.
Yeah.
Would I still play
I think
Howard?
I'd play Connor.
That's
No,
so.
Howard. Howard's going to have such a huge
But
game.
if the only positive you can say about Jordan Howard definitively is he gets volume, I could say that exact same thing about Connor, and he's going to be involved in the passing game, and I think he's just in a better spot.
Does the weather impact Gordon significantly in Cleveland? I think it might. And I wasn't big on him this week.
Yeah,
to
it's
begin
it's
with.
not even just the weather. It's the fact that you're now pairing the weather with the fact he's on a snap.
Yeah. Oh, Tim. Too many SIGs, pal. Hogan or
Put
Dion
you on a
Lewis?
SIG count, pal.
Yeah, Hogan or Dion Lewis? I would play Hogan.
Yeah.
Hogan.
Baldwin or Gordon?
Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, sure. At wide receiver?
Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was Melvin.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
I would play Melvin Gordon over
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin. I would play Doug Baldwin over Josh Gordon.
Yes.
Standard scoring. Garoppolo or James Conner as a super flex? I would just play Garoppolo.
Really?
Quarterback in
I-
every circumstance.
Almost in any circumstance, I would play the
that's-
quarterback in the
that's
super
true.
flex.
That's
like
fair.
you're just
I would
leaving.
play Nathan Peterman over anybody else.
That is
that
not
is
something I would do.
extreme,
Yeah,
sir.
that is crazy. That's your fake news, Tim. Lynch or Powell or Hyde?
Hyde.
Lynch.
I think we already answered this one.
Do we? Yeah. He asked it again, like I asked. Start Funchess or Garcon?
Garcon.
Garcon. You know what?
It's
Funches.
Yeah.
If I like Goodwin, got to downgrade Garcon
Yeah.
a little bit. I don't project San Francisco to score 58 points like Tim does.
They are one of 5 teams with a projected team total below 20 points. Just not even saying that I think they're not going to score a lot of points. Just Vegas doesn't think they're going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, you doubt Jimmy G all you want.
I will continue to. Well, guess what? 6 field goals is still 18 points, Tim.
I like this guy's comment. We answered that. I'm just getting to like the commentary. When Tim said Cobb for that answer, like, yeah, maybe Cobb in 2015. You don't get him. You don't get him back then. Burkhead or
Well, if you
eight.
don't like Powell, what I'm saying, then you don't have to listen. You can put mute on every time I come on. Clever remark.
Maybe Randall Cobb in 2013. Then is what you're saying.
Yeah.
2013. Randall Cobb's
Lamar
bad.
Miller or James Conner. I'd play Miller.
Miller.
Yeah, it's
I don't like Connor that much.
That's like right where I draw the line.
Oh, this guy says I like the way Schrub thinks.
That'll do.
Yeah, it was actually a Simpsons quote of the day that just popped up. Pick 2: Baldwin, Amari, or Keelan Cole. I think it's Baldwin and Amari.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave
It's
Cole
a
on the
tough.
side.
It's a
It's
tough.
Amari.
Yeah, it's a tough
Imagine
spot
if he
for
had
Amari, but
Mariota passing to him.
Don't even create a scenario where he might pronounce it. I cannot
You
do
get
it.
triggered by the way he pronounces
I do.
Mariota?
And I will 100% admit I am triggered by it.
John Bruce asks, Keelan Cole fade replacement on DraftKings. I think that you could potentially go to
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, John Ross is right there. John Ross will be like 7% owned. That's like half of what Keelan Cole will be.
That's your Ross is in a great spot.
Bruce Ellington, I think, is in a good spot in that shootout. If he's the one who's going to be starting on the outside for the Texans, that's a good spot to be in. John Brown is down there. Ryan Grant is down there, who everyone just kind of forgot about.
I do like Ryan Grant too. I would say though, not to overcomplicate things with too many answers. I do really like John Ross in that spot.
I like John Ross.
He's a nice little player.
John Ross.
In that same game, just curiosity, what's your thought on Ty? We haven't mentioned him all day. What are your thoughts on Ty this week?
I think Ty's. It's so tied to luck that if you draft a Ty, you're playing him for sure.
100%. Yep.
And on DraftKings, he does make an interesting contrarian play. If I had played, like I said, I'm playing 5 lineups. I built 25. In the 25 build, he was on like 3 of them. But when I started willing them down, just like, that's too contrarian for the amount of lineups that I'm playing.
I think in that price tier, I would say if you want to go contrarian in that price tier, I might just rather play Beckham.
Diggs is the play.
Diggs. I also kind of like Fitz.
Fitz? Oh, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
They meant Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
that doesn't even make sense.
Gonna play wide receiver.
Diggs and I basically had a little Twitter beef this week, so it's not me.
You and Stephon Diggs had a Twitter beef?
They did.
Did you meet him when you were in Minnesota for
we
the
did.
Super Bowl?
Stephen Diggs was on the Pat Mayo Experience. When
Did you remember Tim?
No, they didn't actually have a Twitter beef. Stephen Diggs took something or said something on Twitter, and then Tim got triggered.
Oh, well.
So, and according to Tim, they have a beef now.
Right.
So
he's the opposite of cursed at this point, then.
Yes. So
Sweet.
Diggs, and he projects as 1/3 the ownership of Thielen, and he's cheaper, which is really weird.
That is strange.
Yeah.
That is strange, yeah.
AJ Green or Michael Thomas? DK.
Thomas.
Michael Thomas, although, man.
I just think Green. I like Green.
That's really. They're 2 of my top 3 rated wide receivers.
Very close.
But Green is the higher projected ownership, correct?
Yeah, they're both very close.
Really?
I just think it's likelier that New Orleans blows out Tampa, and therefore Michael Thomas doesn't do much than it is for AJ.
I actually agree with that, and that's a problem with playing Andy Dalton this week. I think their projected point total is like 20.
Yeah.
Like, they're not projected to score a lot of points.
That is
where are all these fantasy points coming from?
That is the scary thing, yeah.
Now, you have to hope that that's, like, you're betting the over on their
Guess
points.
what? Andy Dalton was in real good spots last season, too. Not saying I've got a couple Dalton lineups.
I have none.
But.
Like, that seems like an easy chalk fade for me.
Yeah.
Lamar Miller or Burkhead? I'd play Miller. I like Burkhead,
Miller.
but I would play Miller in that spot.
Okay.
Burkhead or AP? That's Burkhead.
Burkhead.
Even that's half point PPR, but I would still play Burkhead.
Yeah, Burkhead.
I get it, but, like, here's the devil's advocate position, is that, like, Burkhead has to fight off a bunch of other mouths.
I don't think he does.
Who is he
Not really,
fighting
though.
off?
AP is if you have to really
Chris
think.
Thompson is the biggest possible threat of all possible running backs in this situation. We're
Exactly.
But you know he's not going to get more than 8 to 10 touches at max.
I would
No,
say that's a low estimation.
I think that you can pencil him in for like 5 to 7 carries, and
And 5 to
if
7
Washington
targets,
is up
yeah.
in this game, or if it stays close, then AP could be very viable. He'll be the one who gets the goal line touches. However, if there's a spot where Arizona just even jumps out to a 7-0 lead or a 10-0 lead, Chris Thompson's going to be on the field the entire time, and AP is going to be on the bench. That's
Fair.
what I would be
I'd say
worried. That's what
I'm very
and
interested.
there is no game script that Rex Burkhead gets written out of with the Patriots. If
Exactly.
they're winning, he's in. If they're losing, he's in.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that'd be my take
And again,
on
we
it.
saw it last season. The only games where AP was viable, now a year older, he needed 25 touches.
Yeah, it was all volume.
yeah.
And he might get it here in a revenge situation, but we'll see.
You're coming off
Very
rest.
minor.
Coming off
revenge.
rest, too, yeah. Yeah, very minor revenge.
These revenge games later in people's careers get a little flimsy.
Is Christian McCaffrey a top 5 running back in full point PPR this week? He's close.
Yes.
Yeah, if he's not in the top 5, he's like 6 or 7.
They're really banged up on the offensive line. I don't know if that actually impacts Christian McCaffrey.
I don't think that impacts his viability in a PPR specifically. I still have concerns about this apparent volume share. I get that it looked like it was going to script in the preseason, but that's the preseason. And yeah, like you said, their offensive line lost one of the best right tackles in the NFL.
Put it this way. I'm going to say he's not a top 5 PPR running back this week because I have him ranked at number 6.
There you go.
So
Again, he's top 10, but
top 10.
I'm not
Top 10, Gary, and top 10.
Top 10. Number 5.
Just like Tim and his girlfriend, Bam Bam.
She's a crazy person. You can't ask her that.
Royce Freeman or Deion Lewis? Royce Freeman for me.
Royce.
PPR is standard.
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. I would say in a PPR, I'd go Deion Lewis.
I would play Royce Freeman either one. Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins? I'll take Kirk Cousins in that spot. And I like Wilson, but Cousins just has a way safer floor. Tim, what do you think of Kirk Cousins?
I'd still go Wilson.
I like Wilson much better in that matchup.
I have no fear about picking on this Denver pass defense. I'll say that right now.
Sweet. Lamar Miller, Doug Baldwin, or Emmanuel Sanders, PPR. I think it's Lamar Miller. It'd be Miller, Baldwin, Sanders for me.
Yeah, that's a good order.
Tim?
Yeah, I agree.
How much of a threat is Eric Ebron to Jack Doyle? I don't think he's a huge threat to steal touchdowns, potentially, if he doesn't alligator arm the ball if it comes in. But I think that they're going to play a lot of 2 tight end sets, and they'll both be on the field at the same time.
I will say this.
I don't see much happening.
Not that I fear Ebron necessarily, but I think we saw last season with Cameron Brate.
Ebron James.
Exactly. I think we saw last season what devaluing the importance of a tight end timeshare can be in Tampa Bay. Like Cameron Brate's season,
he was unplayable.
And again, he's very talented, just like Jack Doyle is. But
I think
we're already talking about
that Jack Doyle is more of a fixture in this offense than Cameron Brate was in Tampa Bay.
And
they have so few options.
That's maybe a fair point. But I feel like where the volume share and volume distribution to tight ends is already generally pretty low. If we're even talking about 2 or 3 targets a game to Ebron, that's a huge impact on Doyle. So I think he's still a guy you can start with confidence in a 12-man league, but I would just don't be shocked if in 4 weeks we're talking about how neither of these guys is playable.
Fair. Jordan Howard or James Conner in standard? I believe we already answered this one.
Yeah.
I still
in standard.
I'm still leaning with Howard either way.
I think in standard I'd be more inclined to go with Jordan Howard.
Josh Gordon, Carlos Hyde, or John Ross in season long?
I think it's Carlos
Hyde.
I think it's Hyde
I think
too.
it's a little cute with Ross. I get it, but it's
if you want to take a shot, go for it. But I think if I was going to take the shot, I'd take Josh Gordon and just pray that he's Josh Gordon.
That's the thing too.
So Hyde for me. Who are you starting? D's nuts or your mouth, Garion?
So I'm the nuts in the scenario.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, I'd rather be the nuts.
Okay. Antonio Brown or Cooper Kupp? Really?
Weather. I'm gonna say Antonio Brown.
I will also go with Antonio Brown. Tim?
Although you do get that Monday Night Mo.
Yeah, you do get the hammer, the Cooper Kupp hammer.
And it's also double Monday Night Mo.
I do like Kupp the best of all the Rams receivers.
Yeah.
It's him or Cooks.
Yes, but I think I like Cooks just like a little bit better.
Why isn't Amendola getting much love today on DK? Slot guy in a decent matchup. We've been talking about him for the last hour, so all right, we like him.
Albert Wilson is better.
Which I don't agree with.
But this is the thing. Even if Wilson is better, which he might be, the Dolphins are going to play Amendola more.
Yeah, what's the worst move? That's what the Dolphins will do.
That's a good point.
Just play it. That's why I think that Gore ends up with a bunch of carries.
Again,
he's 75 yards away from being the 4th all-time rusher in NFL history. They're going to be feeding Gore the ball.
I'm sure
they're not. He's not going to get all. He might get it all in this one game.
He can take all season to get 82 yards. That's fine.
Well, he's not getting it next week, so this is the week for him to get it.
I'm sure.
Lynch or Kenny Golladay? I would play Lynch even with the injury concerns. What's your thoughts on Brown and Connor in cash with the weather in Cleveland? I wouldn't play them in cash. I just wouldn't.
You can always play Brown.
I would say
Brown's
Connor,
also the most expensive receiver.
Connor
too.
for me in cash is still a possibility.
Why in cash games? Why wouldn't in terms of Antonio Brown? We'll get to James Conner in a second. The reason that you wouldn't play Brown in cash is because you can play AJ Green for like $1,500 less, and there's no concern.
Brown is no longer a cash play. I think Connor still has viability as a cash play.
I'd still play Burkhead over him.
That's fair. That's completely fine. But I think James Conner you can still play in a cash lineup.
Okay. McCoy, Cole, Crowder, White. Need a wide receiver and a flex. I would play Crowder and Shady.
Yeah.
Shady's going to have 25 touches in this game.
Yeah. Chris Carson or Isaiah Crowell. This is from Roger. I play Chris Carson.
That's the first time I'm going to say
I
Carson.
play Crowell.
Drop one for a kicker. Aaron Jones, Matt Breida, James Conner, or Garion Johnson. I would drop Garion Johnson.
Yeah, Garion Johnson.
I would too.
What's the projected ownership on Dalton Green? Worth pivoting somewhere else in GPPs.
Dalton's probably like what, 50?
Dalton will come in around like 10.
10.
AJ Green will come in around
20.
18. And that's not saying that I would assume most people are playing them together, but I'll say that stack is probably like 6%.
Yeah, I was going to say like.
I would say
of the people playing AJ Green, they might not have Dalton. I would say that 75 to 80% of people playing Dalton would have AJ Green.
Okay. AP or Thompson in the Millie Maker. I wouldn't play either of them. I think AP might be the better Millie Maker play because if everything breaks right for him, he gets that volume that we talked about that we don't think that he's going to get, but he gets the 25 carries. He scores like 3 touchdowns. Thompson's more of a floor play, I think. Like he's going to split either way. So I would just steer clear of both of them.
Yeah, I'm not actively looking to play either Washington running back. If I
tell you, I think I think I'm most interested in what happens in the Washington backfield of any backfield this weekend.
I don't think it's overly complicated. I think of all the
If
backfields.
AP shows flashes, he's going to get a ton of
No,
work.
I disagree inherently with that. I think this is one of the most set in stone backfields, and the only way this backfield could shift is that it works against AP. I think the only thing that happens here is AP gets less carries as time goes on. Like if Chris Thompson's healthy, he's been utilized in this offense the exact same way, only to a greater degree every single time. I just feel like he's a lock.
Okay. Hearns or the Bees? Not the Bees!
Jesus.
Hearns.
I'll play
Probably
Hearns.
He's a better
yeah.
player.
Yeah. Funches or Garcon? Garcon?
Garcon.
Actually, no,
I'm gonna say
Funches. I lean
yeah.
Funches on that one. Did I? Lamar Miller or Connor in the flex? Lamar
talked
Miller.
about that.
There's a lot of Lamar Miller, James Conner questions. Dalton or Tyrod? I play Dalton in
Yeah,
that
it's
spot.
Dalton.
Agreed.
That's a weather thing too.
Corey Davis, Doug Baldwin, or Josh Gordon? I'd play Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Xavier Howard was pretty good towards the back half of last season. That's kind of something to watch.
Okay. Start Rashad Penny, Mike Gillisley, or Gio Bernard. I know it's brutal, he says. That's the spot where I play Gillisley. And just hope he scores.
see, I'd play Bernard.
If it's a PPR, I might just play Bernard.
How do we think that Bernard's going to be playing a lot?
I would
He'll play some.
I would just say in a PPR.
I don't think Mixon is all. I think Mixon is a very overrated player. So
I happen
You're
to agree
right.
too.
Look, in the sense that you just take the running back who's
like
the
all
highest
these guys can
projected
score
total.
0 points.
Yes.
So I
that's
take
why
the
you
guy.
said it's brutal.
I take the guy that potentially could get 4 goal line touches onto where like
no, Gillisley is just a black hole of fantasy potential. Don't go near him.
I would play Gillisley of those 3 guys.
I think I would in a standard, sure. I think in a PPR I would lean Gio.
Goodwin or Tyrell Williams? That is Goodwin.
Yeah, good one.
I'll take Tyrell.
If people are just tuning in now and you missed the first part of the show, the podcast is now live on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podomatic, on Audio Boom. If you just want to go back, and you can just rewind the video.
Yeah.
If that's something you want to do too. And in the description, all the links are there. I'm just tweeting this out right now, so if people can see it, excellent. If you see it out there, give it a retweet so people can know about the show. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
I would say so.
I think it sounds nice. Ready for some legitimate rapid fire here?
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
here we go. Now, are you ready, Tim? You sound ready.
I am as ready can be.
Trade Le'Veon Bell for Leonard Fournette. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Projected ownership on DeAndre Hopkins. Haven't heard anyone talking about him. I still think
12.
he comes in like 19%. Because so many people aren't using Brown now that they'll just drop to
true.
DeAndre
And
Hopkins.
again, you can save. You can
say
save
20%. So you said 19.
You can
so
save so much money at running back too that a lot of people are going to pay up for 2 wide receivers.
Cobb or Cole? Half-point PPR. I would play Cobb.
Yeah.
Cobb.
Okay. We did good. Oh, no. Just Browns D at 2K. If I'm going to pay down for a defense, I'm playing the Texans D at 22 and just hope they get to Brady.
I would actually say Browns D is kind of on the table. I don't mind that move too much. I think this could be a very turnover-heavy game. And again, Ben is historically been terrible on the road. So
Big Ben or Matt Stafford? I would play Matt Stafford. Tim?
No chance. Big Ben, no question.
Don't listen to Tim. Jamal Williams or Matt Breida? That's Jamal Williams.
yeah, Williams.
Yeah, Jamal Williams.
T.Y. Hilton, Royce Freeman, or James Conner? That's iffy.
That's an interesting
I'm playing
one.
Hilton. I'll take the better player.
I think I would play Hilton too, but Connor's probably the safest of those 3
Yeah.
at this point.
No, I would agree.
Derek asked full point PPR. Dion Lewis, Jamison Crowder, or James White? Play Crowder.
I think I'd go Lewis.
Crowder.
Yeah, Mariota's capacity to get it to Lewis is enough.
Derrick Henry or James Conner? I would play James Conner.
James Conner.
Crabtree or Allen Robinson half-point PPR? I'd play Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
His stock's been falling a lot, but I don't really.
I think Crabtree has a decent floor this week.
he's fine.
I'm just curious to see if John Brown's secretly the number 1 receiver and not Crabtree. That'd be the one thing I'd be looking for.
It's on the table.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is why that Buffalo might win this game outright. Like the Ravens are so bad. Like Bills D is a
I
reasonable
won't
play to.
dispute that the Ravens' offense is bad.
Talking about Browns D, I think Bills D is a good buy.
On the road, yeah, no
The
thanks.
Ravens are a bad football team. There's value.
Stills, Wilkins, or Keelan Cole? I think that's
Stills.
Kenny Stills.
Yeah, still.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Stills.
Flex 1, Stills, Crowder, Carson, or Goodwin. And if I play Stills, I have Titans defense that will hold me back. Don't worry about that.
It's Crowder.
I'm
I
flexing
think
Carson.
it's Crowder though.
I think I would flex Stills or Goodwin.
I'm flexing Carson.
You know what? Carson's probably the play.
Really?
Yeah, I like Carson.
I don't like Carson that much this week.
All right.
Hey-yo.
Next one. Goodwin or Keelan Cole? I would say
good one, yeah.
Jamal Williams or Rex Burkhead standard scoring. I play Burkhead.
Yeah,
Williams.
still Burkhead. That's a tough matchup with Chicago. They were already good before they got
Khalil
one
Mack.
of the best linebackers
Maybe it'll be
in the
worse
NFL.
now. Alfred Morris or Marquise Goodwin? I would play Goodwin.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yo.
People don't know who that is, Tim.
That's Alf, who's coming back, so they do know who he is.
Yeah, but they're putting pants on him.
I heard this.
It's an outrage. I am fired up for that show to come back.
Why?
Tim, this one is specifically for you. Would you play Jalen Samuels at tight end or Kittle me Timbers?
Playing Kittles.
But does anyone own Kittle in our league?
Of course they do.
Someone must,
I guess it is a 14-man league. Demarius Thomas or Brendan Cooks? I would play Demarius Thomas.
Yeah, DT.
I'll play Brandon Cook, sir.
Okay, this guy just says Dez Bryant. Thanks for nothing, bumshack.
I wouldn't play him this week.
Fucking asshole. Drake or Henry? I would play Drake.
Yeah, views from the 6 for me.
Oh.
Very, very current reference, Tim. Very good. Is that the most up-to-date reference you have in your repertoire?
It might be.
All right.
It's still an album ago.
All right, 5 minutes to go. The sweat will start on DraftKings Live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll have to take a 5-minute game.
11:30.
What did I say, 10:30?
10:30.
It already started an hour ago. Yeah, 11:30 all the way up until kickoff. You'll be on it. I'll be on it very briefly. And I'm going to take a nap or something like that. We'll see.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Marshawn Lynch or Marvin Jones as my Monday night play. I would play Marvin Jones.
Yeah, Marv.
Lynch. I don't think Jones does that much.
Can I get some insight on James White? You probably should have watched one of the 8 other shows this week, Scuba Steve. Sorry.
James White's a
we
tight
hit on it earlier in the show.
Yeah, or just
touchdown.
rewind the show. Tim loves him and thinks he's a goal line back for some reason, which isn't true.
Because he's banned his whole career.
I'm sorry.
What? There's nothing to point to that. We don't have time for this. Mahomes or Mariota? That's close. I play
it's
Mariota.
I like
Mariota. No, I just wanted to say it. It's Mahomes.
I think it's Mariota.
It's close though.
Okay. Emmanuel Sanders, Deion Lewis, or Chris Thompson full point?
Deion Lewis.
I would play Sanders.
I would play Lewis.
Okay. Steelers or Green Bay? Which D? I guess I could take the Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers are in a good spot.
Packers.
Packers for Tim.
At home. I like this spot better.
Goodwin, Cole, or Sanders? Goodwin.
Goodwin, Cole, or Sanders.
Goodwin.
Yeah, Goodwin.
Connor or Kenny Stills?
Connor.
Connor.
I'm paying the bills.
All right, taking Kenny Stills. Thoughts on Sam Bradford as cheap, low-owned quarterback? Tim seems to like him. I'm out.
I think he's the sort of quarterback that could be your solo bullet to win the Millie Maker. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he's the type of quarterback that can do it. The last time we saw him play fully healthy, it was week 1 last year, and he played amazing. So it could happen again. Who knows?
Let's see. AP or Thompson as a DK flex? I say neither.
Yeah.
I don't like either. I would play.
You're in
You
that
don't
situation,
have to play
yeah,
one of them.
If you're forced, I would say Thompson over AP, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't love those either.
Sanders or Aguilar in season-long PPR? Well, the thing is,
Yeah,
Aguilar's
this is-
already
this is
played.
tough.
I maybe like keeping going forward. It would be Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders.
Yeah,
is
of course.
consistently a better play.
Juju or Carson?
Carson.
Carson. All right, round to Carson. Marvin Jones or Cooper Kupp? I would play Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones.
Nah, I want the Monday Night Hammer.
There's just too much variance in that receiving core.
Yeah, I mean, and Marvin Jones is really good.
Also, like
by the way.
Gerald Everett could catch 2 touchdowns.
All right.
Who really knows?
Right? 2-minute warning here before we get out of here. Carlos Hyde, Robert Woods, or Keelan Cole? I would play Hyde.
Yes.
Browns D at 2K? No, thank you. Njoku or Doyle? I'd play Doyle.
Doyle. Yeah.
Doyle.
Hyde or Josh Gordon? Hyde for me.
Hyde.
Correct.
Carson or Sammy Watkins? I would play Carson.
Yeah. Carson.
Watkins.
Goff or Tyrod Taylor? I would play Goff.
Goff.
Sammy Watkins or Jamal Williams? Full
Jamal
point
Williams.
PPR? Jamal Williams
Yeah.
for me.
100%.
There I have to play Jamal Williams.
Royce, Drake, or Connor? Pick 2. I would play Royce and Connor.
I would play
Royce and Drake.
Connor and Drake.
Connor and Drake.
Royce-
So we're all over the
all
board
3
here.
possible answers. Yeah.
Olsen or Eifert? And Olsen's dealing with this injury. He's going to play though. He's likely to be active at least. I would play Olsen.
Yeah, just play Olsen. If
I
he's
want
active,
Eifert.
you have to
When
play
he's
him.
healthy, he's one of the most
He's going to be on a snap count,
important
though.
red zone targets in the NFL.
I don't disagree with
Let's
that.
say
but
he
he's on a
didn't
snap
go to
count.
Notre Dame. Would he still be your choice?
Yes, I don't think that way.
They're all lovely players. How about this one? Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin, or Juju? Need 2.
I would say Tate and Baldwin.
Tate and Baldwin.
That's not exceedingly hard.
Yeah, I'd still go Juju and Baldwin. I just like Marvin that spot.
It's fair.
I think you're safer.
Both could thrive. I don't
No,
see it.
Tate terrifies me.
Very quickly. Eli or Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Kamara or Melvin Gordon in cash games? I play Kamara.
In cash game, Kamara, yeah.
Kamara.
Rivers or Cousins? I play Rivers.
Rivers, yep.
Rivers, I guess.
Burkhead or Larry Fitz? I'd actually play Larry Fitz.
I like Larry Fitz.
Yep.
Yep.
McCoy or Goodwin? Shady for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Williams or Rex? I'd play Rex.
Over Jamal.
Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, Rex.
Mariota or Rivers? I'd play Rivers.
Rivers.
Yeah, I'm going to play Mariota there.
Ben Watson or Evan Ingram? I would play Evan Ingram still.
Yeah, Ingram.
I like Ben Watson.
I know you do.
Keelan Cole or Kenny Stills? Kenny Stills.
Stills.
Yep.
Hogan, Freeman, and Drake. Pick 2. I'd play Hogan and Freeman.
I would play Hogan and Drake. I have Drake just a little bit
Hogan
ahead
and Freeman.
Keelan Cole or Josh Gordon? I'd still play Josh
Gordon.
Keenan Cole there. I want the number 1 guy.
John Ross or Chris Thompson? I'd play John Ross.
Yeah, John Ross.
Yeah.
I just don't like that backfield.
Luck or Roethlisberger? I play Luck.
Yeah. Ben's bad on the road.
Got time for like 2 more here. Goodwin, Crabtree, or Tyreek Hill needs 2. Goodwin and Hill for me.
Yep.
All right. Richard Matthews, I think that's Rashard Matthews, or Corey Davis. I play Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
Doyle or Olsen in PPR. I would play Olsen.
Yeah.
Ryan Griffin or Ricky Seals Jones in a cash or in a DraftKings Millionaire Maker.
Ryan Griffin.
I would play Ryan Griffin.
I don't hate Seals, but yeah.
He would play RSJ. Ricky Seals and Croft. Mariota or Cousins. I play Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins.
Oh, God. 2 terrible quarterbacks.
Just hurry up and make a fucking pick. We're almost out of here.
Fine. Cousins, I guess.
Miller or Collins. I play Collins.
Miller.
Carson or Baldwin. Baldwin.
Yep.
Okay. Carson or Juju. I play Carson.
Carson.
Peyton Barber, Rex Burkhead, Marquise Goodwin. I play Rex Burkhead.
Burkhead, yep.
Goodwin.
All right, last one. Hyde or Dion Lewis. I'd play Dion Lewis.
Dion Lewis.
And if people didn't know, Royce Freeman or James Conner in a PPR, I would play James Conner.
I'm playing Conner too, yep.
You're playing James Conner? All right, there we go.
Royce Freeman.
You're playing Royce Freeman. All right, last one of the day before we get out of here, and the sweat will start at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Would you play, Tim, Jordan Reed or Kittle me Timbers?
I'm playing Kittles. I don't trust
Reed. I would play Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed's healthy.
He's not on the injury report for the only time this season.
I'm terrified of Vernon Davis still. I'm sorry. I think that will matter. He will eat into Jordan Reed's totals this season.
They can both be good, but Jordan Reed's going to be the one who's on the field. All right, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Thanks for tuning in live. We're going to be live every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to try to figure out a better way to get to all your questions. I like that rapid fire at the end, though. Well, maybe we'll use the chat to dictate what we talk about the show. You let us know what you think. You can download it still before kickoff. Go listen to it if you missed any of it. It'll be available on demand 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time Monday. Jake Seeley, myself, breaking down all the games, all the injuries, and the waiver wire. My column will be out tonight on DK Playbook. I would like to thank Garion Thorne for being on the line. Do you know who else I would like to thank?
I'm also here.
You're also, yeah. Do you know who I would like to thank for being on the line, though, is my question. Do you know?
I have an inkling, yes.
For me, for them, and our good friend, Tim Andergust!
Tim Andergust.
It's not my name.
It is your name. So that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Sub to the show. Give the episode a like. This guy says thanks for nothing. Go fuck yourself. We try to get to as many as possible. There was a lot of questions. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.